he will sign a new executive action on immigration early next week. So what can be worded differently so liberals and the courts cannot stop it? Joining us now from the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow. All right, a lightning round quick just to get facts on the table.
Yep.
The big story, you agree with me, is that the intelligence community has been politicized, at least among some, and what they did in leaking this information was illegal, correct?
Absolutely illegal, and almost becomes a soft coup in a sense because of the leaks that have taken place, which violate federal law, a felony.
Okay, and that would be the Espionage Act 18, U.S. Code 793.
Correct. That's the unauthorized dissemination of information.
Okay, the other thing is, so we know that our intelligence agencies, they were doing their job, and they were monitoring a Russian ambassador.
Right.
There is law and protocol. I want you to go into more detail here.
Yeah.
Where when they discover that an American is being spoken to with the person that they targeted for surveillance, that if they don't have a warrant, they are supposed to stop recording, minimize what they hear from the American citizen. In this case, it would be General Flynn, so that makes it illegal.
At the time.
Explain.
Right. So it's called minimization. It's a requirement under the law. When you find out that there's an American, you don't have a wiretap, exactly what you said, you basically shut it off for their portion of the conversation. But Sean, there was a sea change here in the NSA with an order that came out from President Obama 17 days before he left office, where he allowed the NSA, who used to control the data, it now goes to 16 other agencies, and that just festered this whole leaking situation. And that happened on the way out, as the president was leaving the office of the...
No, because this is important. I want you to stay on this.
Yep.
Let me put up the New York Times. This is from January 12th, discussing this very thing that you said. In its final days, the Obama administration expanded the power of the National Security Agency to share globally intercepted personal communications with the government's 16 other agencies, the intelligence agencies, before applying privacy protections. Let's explain the severity of this. This means that information that most people would never see is now spread all throughout the entire intelligence community. Explain the significance of that.
The first question I ask is, why did the Obama administration wait till they had 17 days left in their administration to put this order in place? If they thought it was so important, they had 8 years, they didn't do it. That's number one. Number two, it changed the existing rules, which was an executive order dating back to Ronald Reagan that has been in place until 17 days before the Obama administration was going to end, that said the NSA gets the raw data and they determine dissemination. Instead, this change that the president put in place, signed off, by the way, by James Clapper on December 15th, 2016, signed off by Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, January 3rd, 2017. They decide that now, all of a sudden, 16 agencies can get the raw data. And what that does is it almost creates a shadow government. You have all these people that are not agreeing with the president, President Trump's position, so it just festers more leaks.
Do you agree with
if they had justification for this, wonderful. Why didn't they do it 8 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? They wait till 17 days left.
So in other words, it makes it that much more difficult by spreading out the information among 16 other agencies if they want to target or take away the privacy rights and illegally tap the phones, in this case of General Flynn. It's going to be much harder to find the perpetrators. Is that Is that a good analysis?
Yes, because what it's done is it's increased 16-fold the number of people that would have access to the communications. Initially, it was just the NSA. There's a very small amount of people that would have had access to this kind of data. But this change administratively by the Obama administration was so significant that they allowed the dissemination to 16 other agencies of raw data. And Sean, we wonder why there's leaks. But I'll tell you something. President Obama, James Clapper, Loretta Lynch should be held accountable for this.
Do you think
not illegal what they did,
was
but the way they did
it was designed
I'd like to know why.
For the purpose of allowing their spies to do the very thing we see happening?
Yeah, well, their justification will help in intelligence gathering. But like I said, really 8 years late into your administration, you decide to do that? 17 days to go. That needs to be answered. I'll be very curious to see what they say.
All right, the president's going to issue a new executive order next week as it relates to extreme vetting.